Look at him. Birmingham's own Say Hey Kid, Mr. Willie Mays. He was a center field and game's greatest all-around player of all time. So Willie Mays played the center field, and we all know that he was famous for that catch that he made in center field as before the save home run. But here's the many awards that Willie Mays accomplished. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1979, 1965, won the league MVP, won the league MVP in 1954, won the World Series title in 1954 as a member of the New York Giants, 1951 NL Rookie of the Year. And before he made it to the majors, he played 3 seasons with the Birmingham Black Barons. So your boy Willie Mays, may he rest in peace. He is deeply rooted in the city of Birmingham. R.I.P. Mr. Mays. What's going on, good people? This your boy P9 coming at you live from downtown Birmingham, Alabama, at the corner of 20th Street and 6th Avenue. And yes, this is another Birmingham video. In my previous Birmingham video, which was, by the way, a compilation, I didn't really get much of downtown Birmingham, so I'm back here in Birmingham to get a good part of the downtown portion of the city. It is now approaching 10 a.m. on this Thursday, and again, this is Thursday, July the 4th. So it is the 4th of July. But your boy out here working, doing my vlogging. So right over here, this is what's called the land title building. And this building right here is the promenade on 6th Avenue. And you also, what you have here, you have the Shipped building, that's S-H-I-P with a T at the end, and the Regions building right over here, Regions Bank, which is headquartered right here in Birmingham. And you also have this sculpture right here. Now that Shipped Tower building, the Shipped Tower building that we just saw, is actually the tallest office building in the city of Birmingham. These are, this building right here is called the 600. I believe it's a high-rise luxury apartment building. But I'm over here at the corner of 6th Avenue and 19th Street. Now, of course, as you're going to see, a lot of these areas of downtown are going to be historical markers that commemorate the civil rights movement in the 1960s. After all, this is Birmingham, so you're going to see a lot of that. Right here is the First United Methodist Church. As you can see right here. March route to government. 1963, on nightly news programs and in newspapers, the images of Birmingham children under police attack shocked and sickened the nation. It was the reaction that Project C organizers had hoped for. The Children's Crusade revived the Birmingham campaign, helping it regain momentum and sensational press coverage. Parents and community leaders feared for the children's safety. Despite the risk, the children kept coming, and the police continued using hoses, dogs, and tanks to suppress them. Thousands of children, along with others, would be arrested and jailed. See, everybody, you know, it was no limit. Okay, wasn't expecting that, but anyway, yeah, there was no limit on what the police did in regards to, I mean, everybody got it. Even children weren't safe during that time. Yeah, they're ringing the heck out of that bell. But yes, the Good Friday March. Dr. King hoped to gain more national attention for the Birmingham campaign by planning marches during Holy Week, on Palm Sunday, Good Friday, and Easter Sunday. But Bull Connor, who was a police chief during that time, created serious problems for King. Connor got a local judge to order King and the other Project C leaders to stop all demonstrations. So basically, you know, Bull Connor, he pulled the strings that he had to orchestrate an arrangement to where the bail was increased for anyone who was protesting and got arrested. He increased the bail. So if you're familiar with the civil rights movement, particularly in Birmingham, then you probably would know who Bull Connor is. That name probably rings a bell. He was the police chief for the Birmingham Police Department during that Jim Crow era. It's an old Greyhound station right here. Can a man love God and hate his brother? It's a sister holding up this sign back in 1963. So police stop and arrest a group of children who are marching from 16th Street Baptist Church to City Hall. Here a girl's sign calls to mind a biblical verse about true godly love. Faith, morality, and justice are the foundations of this nonviolent movement. Some hold signs saying everyone wants freedom. Some of the children are so young that they mispronounce freedom. They pronounce it by saying freedom without the R. So police arrest about 1,000 people this day. Thus, the Birmingham movement fills the jails with local unsung heroes. And it soon becomes nationally recognized as a true people's movement. Wow, very interesting. And this image is very powerful. And again, this comes from the Bible. It's a biblical scripture. Like, can a man love God and hate his brother? And it's from first chapter of John. (4:20). Want to get these real quick. Some more images of children getting arrested at City Hall. So City Hall was a grounds for where they were protest at, and they would get arrested at City Hall. And again, these are children, you know, under the age of you know, this is before they were even teenagers. So everybody of all ages was involved in the March for Civil Rights. It's funny, we just talked about arrests and stuff like that during that time, and there's a bail bondsman right here, or bail bonds business. I believe that's a courthouse over there. Some form of government building. Here's another the side of the ship tower. They say this was the tallest building in Birmingham, but it looks like the Regent's Tower is about the same height. So this is the Regent's Tower and the ship tower like side by side. So I don't know. They're both tall buildings though. They're definitely both the tallest building. One of them is the tallest building in the city. So yeah, but that building is indeed a federal courthouse. All right, over there to the right. As we get further into the core of downtown, I'm walking down 19th Street. Here's a very profound quote right here. You have to be prepared to die before you can begin to live. This is by Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth on the eve of the 1963 Birmingham campaign, as quoted by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in his book, Why We Can't Wait. That's facts. Those who stand for nothing fall for anything, right? And you can see right here is a marker for the Civil Rights Freedom Riders in 1961, May 14th, 1961. And a group of black and white core youth on a freedom ride from Washington, D.C. to New Orleans arrived by bus at the Birmingham Greyhound Terminal. So that's where we were just at not too long ago. They were riding through the deep South to test a court case. Boynton versus Virginia, declaring segregation in bus terminals unconstitutional. Here they were met and attacked by a mob of Klansmen. The riders were severely assaulted while the police watched, yet the youth stood their ground. Amen. That's how, yep, exactly. So a lot of these stations in these cities, these Greyhound stations, were grounds for the Freedom Riders. As you can see, is a Freedom Riders poster right here on the side of this Wells Fargo ATM. Told you, Birmingham is a lot of like posters and markers that talk about the march, the civil rights events freedom rides and all that type of stuff. It's a lot of that here in Birmingham, downtown particularly. In my last compilation video of Birmingham, as you can see, all of this right here, it's really nice. It's like a bunch of paintings. It's really cool. It's on this bench right here. Also wanted to get this, My Dream, Let Freedom Ring. Let Freedom Ring right here. Love men should hire Negro blacks. I would assume, I believe Loveman's was a department store back then. But as I was saying, yeah, on my last Birmingham video, where it was a compilation, I did go to the, the Civil Rights District, which was where the 16th Street Baptist Church is located, Kelly Ingram Park, all of that. I might be around that area today as well. But right here is another one of those Crest buildings. Now, I want to say it was a department store. They had a chain of stores in Alabama, because when I went to Montgomery, the state capital, they have a Crest building there. So they also have one right here in downtown Birmingham, which is now, by the way, it's an event center. So they host events, and where you could book ahead of time. And yeah, it's one of those. That's what that is used for now. Here's an image of a woman who was thrown in a paddy wagon for protesting behind Loveman's department store. Of course, Loveman's, as you saw in that scene, in that last one where the lady said Loveman's hire Negroes. Well, of course, they weren't hiring Negroes a lot in a lot of these places. A lot of these businesses weren't hiring Negroes, so there was a lot of protesting as a result. As I reached 3rd Avenue and 19th Street, this building right here is the McWane Science Center. Now, this is just basically an interactive children's museum for science, as you can see right here. Some more historical buildings. They have what's called the Graves Building right here. Which they have lofts. I believe these are like yeah, they're lofts and apartment buildings and apartments, stuff like that. And here goes the iconic Alabama Theater. AKA the showplace of the South. And they're still open. They still operate, hosting a variety of shows and plays. Alabama Theater, built 1927. Built by the Public Theater District of Paramount Studios, this movie palace opened on December 26, 1927. The theater, in Spanish Moorish design by Graven and Mager of Chicago, seated 2,500 in a 5-story, 3-tiered auditorium. So Paramount's president, Adolph Zukor, named it the Showplace of the South. The famous Mighty Wurlitzer pipe organ with 21 seats or sets of pipe was played for many years by showman Stanley Malotte. So basically, this also hosted a bunch of other events such as the Miss Alabama pageant and the Mickey Mouse Club. So the Alabama Theater basically closed in 1981, but a group of people came together basically to save it from being demolished and to preserve this historical building. So it's a landmark for sure right here in downtown Birmingham. There was another area called the Lyric Theater. Also, in my last Birmingham video, outside of the Civil Rights District, I did cover the 4th Avenue District, which was a mecca for black businesses, similar to how La Villa was in Jacksonville, Black Bottom was in Detroit. That's how 4th Avenue was in Birmingham back in the Reconstruction / Harlem Renaissance era. A lot of these buildings over here are look abandoned. Some of them are occupied. That building over there, it's called the TJ Tower. See if I can get closer up to it. That's the TJ Tower I was talking about earlier, or not too long ago actually. I don't think I've ever seen this building before. And I've been to downtown Birmingham a few times. I don't remember ever seeing this building, but it's called the TJ Tower. At the corner of 17th Street and 2nd Avenue. And this building right here is called the Phoenix Building. There's a wine loft over here. So it does kind of give you, based on the type of establishments they have over here, a wine loft, couple of apartment buildings. Does kind of give me Midtown vibes a little bit. That's how most Midtowns in major cities look. I believe these right over here, those are like some lofts, some apartment buildings. So this is basically Midtown. It's I'm over here on Morris Avenue, Midtown, a loft historic district. So basically it's a series of lofts in this area. I don't imagine a lot of these establishments are going to be open today due to the fact that it is a holiday. This is the 4th of July. But this is called the Loft District. So it's still considered part of downtown. So it's a few lofts, a couple of restaurants. Here's an attorney at law, Hollis Wright attorney at law right there. It's a nice little apartment building right over here. And this area is also close to the Amtrak station where we were at the earlier part, about maybe 15-20 minutes ago. It's right next to the railroad tracks where that Amtrak station, close to where that Amtrak station is. So oh wow. Underneath this tunnel right here, but there's basically on these walls is just a bunch of chalk. It says, "Before I die, I want to." It's a lot of stuff I would like to do. I guess you could make a little bucket list on that wall right there, but in chalk. This is pretty dope. They got some spray paint right there, graffiti. We have a little railroad car right here. And that is that. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop it for now, but I'm gonna come back with more footage because I am not done.